Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
Facts, boots.
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Batman, Vigilante, Dark Knight, Murderer.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am Zach, joined as always by the magnificent, marvelous man wonder himself, Mr. Mike.
Why, hello there.
Oh, nice.
How about that? That's a
I
good
like
intro,
that.
huh?
Yeah.
Why, hello there.
You know, sometimes I always feel like when we start our podcast, we sound like it's, you know, you've tuned into like public radio or like NPR.
We do start that way.
We do in a
occasionally,
way.
yes.
We will get loud throughout, obviously, and we will say some pretty ridiculous stuff probably by the time it's said and done. But I always feel we start, and it's just like, you know, this is Zach, and welcome to Fresh Air.
Welcome to comics.
Exactly.
Welcome to Comic Air.
Terry Gross will join us in the next segment.
Terry Repulsive will be here in a minute.
I got it.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah. So
your wife will be proud.
There you go.
You got the job.
There you go. We talked off before we had started.
Yeah.
I had told Mike that my wife had listened to one of the episodes the other day, or maybe a couple weeks ago, whatever, but she brought to my attention that sometimes it would frustrate her that Mike would make jokes. And I was so dead set on just keep pushing through with the story or whatever we were talking about that I would miss it. And she was like, he makes funny jokes and you just miss it sometimes.
You have to remember, Mike hates himself. And so that's the only way he can get through a day is making constant jokes. Yeah.
Oh, come on, Mike.
I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, we know it's
just
true,
like
but I'm just
myself.
saying,
I
like,
don't
come
hate
on,
myself.
let's not bring everybody else down.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Welcome. Welcome. So today, a thing that we started last week.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, before we get into that, I think I made mention of it at the end of last week's show. I should make mention of it at the beginning.
Okay.
Is there's a little thing, and we just talked about it a little bit too, with the press release called RogueCon going on.
Yes, RogueCon 23.
And
RogueCon23.com.
there you go.
All your creative content ticketed needs.
And we bring it up because on that Saturday,
Yes.
the 21st,
Yes.
one of the things that is going on there is we will be doing a live show.
The year of our Lord 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
If you would like to come swing by and see Mike and I
Please.
do this monstrosity live.
Cover your eyes and it'll be the same.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Or maybe you don't even have to cover your eyes. You can just like turn your backs to us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so you
I
can
would
still
love like a
see.
whole audience and their backs are just turned to us.
Yes,
They're just
wouldn't that be great? Just because it's like, I know they're there, I know they're listening,
Yeah.
but they're not judging me.
Sure.
And I know they're not.
Sure.
Well, if they are, I can't tell that
I can't
they
take
are.
their beady little eyes anyway. Yeah.
You just called our audience member. You said all of our
Some of
audience
them have
members have
beady eyes, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking, you know, just law of averages, right?
well,
Some of them have
yeah.
beady eyes.
Okay. Law of averages.
Talking to
that's
you,
fine.
Jeff.
Jeff, I just want you to know that was Mike who made that comment. It was not me. So,
Jeff, fight me.
all right.
Come on, Jeff. Let's go.
If Jeff shows up, maybe we'll have at our second live show, we'll have a fight between.
Ooh. Fisticuffs. Bare knuckle
Would you,
fisticuffs.
if Jeff shows up, if we have a listener named Jeff,
Yes.
show up.
Well, there's two qualifiers.
Okay.
Number one, you got to be a listener. Well,
Yeah.
there's three qualifiers.
Okay.
Number one, you got to be a listener.
Okay.
Number two, your name has to be Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't want any like Hefe or, you know, any other kind of Jeff, right? I mean,
But
it has to
isn't-
be like Jeffrey that's called Jeff.
Okay. So you want like a, okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then third, beady eyes.
Okay. Can I put a fourth in just
Sure,
for
please,
for
please.
your safety?
Yes.
Cannot.
Under 5'2".
Oh,
just kidding.
I was just gonna say cannot be a professional fighter of some sort.
I would be okay with that. I don't care.
That's true. I feel like we've talked about it before about how you said
I
that you were
don't-
willing to take a punch for some
I
money.
don't feel like I've been punched enough.
That's an interesting thing.
You ever feel that way? Like I should
haven't
have had
been
more
punched
fights.
enough.
Well, I mean, I'm just
So-
saying, like I should have had more fights. Right?
Okay. I have had that thought
Yeah.
before of where not like I should have had more fights,
Right.
but it's like I feel like fights show up in other form of media all the time
yeah.
that I feel like I didn't have enough. Maybe.
Yeah.
I had like fights with my brothers, but
Yeah,
you know
that's
how
different.
it is
Yeah.
because it was never anything really like too like nobody ever got really hurt or anything like that.
I'm talking 4 drinks in,
Yeah.
you know.
See, okay. The thing is, I've never been a big drinker, so like I've gone out and I've had fun, but I'm a invade your personal space happy person.
Oh, you're a close person. You're a close talker.
I am. I might get a little louder, which I know that's probably hard to imagine since I'm already so loud. I'm not like that close, but I will probably put my arm around you, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't
That's
do
okay.
it. I don't do it to
You're
be
happy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're happy.
Until I get to a point, which I found out obviously like everybody does when they go on their like 21st and 22nd. Like everybody
21st, 22nd drink?
No, well, man, I think everybody at least has that point to where you reach a limit where you realize like, all right, that's where I need to.
So, have I ever told you about my cousin and the way he used to fight?
No.
So we got into a couple of skirmishes in strip club parking lots, right?
Before or after?
Before or after the strip club?
Yeah. Like, did y'all just pull? I guess I'm like, did y'all go in?
One of them,
or
no.
was it just like pull over in the next parking lot and it happened to be strip club parking lots?
I have never spent a lot of time in strip clubs. It's just not my thing.
I get it.
I think they're frustrating, number one. I mean, that's all they are. They're just frustrating, right? I mean, you can't do anything about it. So it's just frustration. Yeah. I've never understood why you drop a ton of money on frustration.
Yeah, all right.
Yay, blue balls, or whatever. But
oh man,
no, I think that we used to go out riding around a lot.
Yeah,
and he was a professional turd, and so he would piss a lot of people off.
Gotcha. Okay. And you'd have to kind of. Yeah.
I just remember pulling over in the parking lot of a strip club twice with this man, and both times he went up to an unarmed car, broke off their antenna, and went after somebody with it.
Okay.
He's that guy.
So here's this is also back in the day when cars had antennas.
He'll like cut your skin open kind of guy.
This is when cars had like actual
antennas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember I had a Camry. I think it might have been my first one. It was like a 94 Camry.
And I came out of the strip club and the antenna was gone.
Well, no, and I remember like I turned the car on and it would like raise after it started.
Yes.
And then when it was done. But I remember those things were like
those don't have the same as a regular
they
antenna.
Don't. But I'm like, so I just remember like it being a thing. But I remember from some of my mother's cars, she had like an older Buick that thing was like.
Just think about what it takes to break it off.
Oh, it takes some force. Yeah.
There's this whole thing going through your head. I'm going to get that antenna. Now I'm going to break it off. Now I'm going to go after somebody with it. I mean, that takes a lot of gumption. I mean, you're just like,
or anger issues, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think gumption and anger issues are the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it means.
The New American Dictionary.
All right.
Yeah.
So something we started last week along the lines of fighting. Let's stick to fighting crime.
There you go.
There we go.
Let's do it.
We started.
Break off this antenna.
I came up with the idea of, it's not really original, but it's the first of the year. So we should look back at it's the beginning of the year. We should look back at the beginning of some of our most favorite and beloved comic book characters. We started last week with the one who started it all in a sense.
Yes.
With Superman. And we found out that he actually landed in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, and he's kind of a jackass.
And he's always kind of been
one. Yeah, he really has kind of always been a jackass.
Which is fine. But he drugged a man.
Yep.
And left him in his apartment.
Yep.
And stole his identity.
Drugged him and then re-drugged him.
Yeah, drugged him multiple times.
Drugged him twice.
Oh, and let the bad guys kidnap him.
That's true.
Realized when, they're not going to kill him, he's fine. And just left him.
Yep.
So
then he killed that homeless guy.
Yeah.
Took his pocket change.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't know if we're telling the truth or not. Go back and listen to find out.
That's true. That's right.
We do know that he killed Bizarro as a kid, but that's also a previous one. So the next big hero that makes sense then, just chronologically kind of too, even going year wise, is Aquaman came out in 41.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
And you have so much knowledge.
I do, but it's so useless. What's it
Not
good
in
for?
this arena. It's
No,
very useful.
it's perfect for this. But like, where else do I? It's things that I remember from a kid, from being a kid, and it's just I have a bunch of
Family Feud.
yeah.
maybe?
Oh, I know. I'm great for that.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to quit calling it useless knowledge.
Yeah.
Because when I say something, people are like, "Oh, that's cool," but then when they describe it, like, "Oh yeah, Zach, he has a bunch of useless knowledge," and I'm just kind of like selling myself short to begin
Yeah,
with.
because you're pre-labeling it.
Exactly.
Right?
So I have a lot of random knowledge, I think is what I'm going to start calling it. I just don't know where it's good for. But in this
It's good
form,
for
it
this,
works.
yeah. I'm grateful for it.
So we're going to look at Detective Comics and the appearance of Batman.
Ooh.
The first appearance here. And what we're going to do is with Superman. Yeah. There's actually a good, I will say, from the first appearances, one of the portrayals of the character I really like, and it's really cool to see. There's a lot of questionable things. Mike, I brought in a copy for you to have your own like follow along copy.
Yeah. Oh boy,
that I'll give to you here in a second. But also,
I
brought in. No, not yet.
Yeah,
You gotta wait.
Whatever.
You gotta wait. If you're a good boy,
Just
when
like
we get home.
Just like my wife.
So, I also brought in my copy of Batman Chronicles Volume 1. And what it was is back in like 2005, they put together, I got this for Christmas from my brother, actually.
Oh, very nice. You got that for Christmas?
Yeah.
This Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
It's so marked up. Like there's so many note tabs in it.
This is all just from today.
Good God, man.
There's a reason why.
Okay. All right.
So I brought in my copy, and what it is
there's at least a dozen tabs hanging out of this thing.
Okay, and so it's all very instrumental to this episode. And what it is they basically collected like the first 11 appearances that he had in Detective Comics, and then it's the very first issue of Batman 1.
Yeah. Okay.
So
the very first issue of Batman 1.
Yes.
Wait, there's a Batman 1 or
Batman issued 1.
Okay. Well, I thought there have been
I just
like
almost
year one.
I thought you were making
like
I get that. I thought you were making a Batman One joke, and then I was going to say no, it's Batman Well.
No, not Batman Well.
From the Tick.
Yeah. Do you remember the old one, right?
Yeah,
the original.
No, I liked them all. I like the humor in the Tick.
The new one's great.
Yeah,
but
you're talking about the one with
the
Warburton,
original
right?
with Warburton. Oh,
even the old animated
Batman
one.
Well.
Even as a kid, I loved it.
Yeah.
So,
that guy. Every time I see him in a movie or whatever, the guy that played Batman Well. Oh, that's all I can think of. I can't take the dude serious.
Oh, poor guy.
Batman Well.
So, it's a lot of Batman adventures, and I have gone through and I have marked certain things in here. And as Mike has pointed out, there are a bunch of tabs from here.
Yeah.
And by the time it's all said and done, I'm going to have you guess. I'm not going to show it to you anymore because it'll be part of it.
Okay.
But we'll see if you can figure out what these tabs are while we go through our episode. You might not. And it'll be a nice little cool thing for me to get to.
All right.
But we're going to start with what started it all, and that is Detective Comics number 27. What I've done here for this episode.
26?
Detective Comics 1 through 26.
Right, but I'm saying, like, what was it?
There was something called, like, there was a spy one in there. I didn't read too much
Spy
before. I feel like we've covered something that was in Detective Comics early.
All right.
Because if you know, on this channel, I, for some reason, always love just older stuff in general.
Yeah.
It's part of me with my random knowledge of being a fan of history in general, too. So,
you said this was 27?
Yeah, number 27 is where Batman appears back in May of 1939.
All right.
But what I have for us to cover in this episode is the first two solo adventures of Batman appearing in Detective Comics number 27 and 28, followed by, and I jumped around obviously through this collection too. So I can tell you, Mike, I haven't read through all of this.
Okay.
So that can give you a clue about what these yellow notes are. Doesn't shock me.
A little bit of racism in the original Detective Comics.
I can tell you, even reading through this, like flipping through this, Mike, there's a little bit of racism in the collection here.
It's just, it was the time.
It was, and that's
people were uninformed.
Yeah,
and
it's not an excuse, obviously.
No, it's not. Sure, but I'm saying if you go back in history, you're going to run into a lot of that.
Yes. So you can be sure to find that. But
did you think for a second that I was like, it was the time, it was fine?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I feel like I'm just trying to.
I got you. Sure.
I don't want people to be like, Mike. I know how Mike feels, but Zach didn't say anything.
Fucking Jeff.
It would be no. You're not going to pull me over with this anti-Jeff rhetoric.
It's
I'm not going to
Jeff.
be.
It's all Jeff.
I'm not going to be taken down that path. So,
Turn
we
it
have
off,
the
Jeff.
first
Turn it
two Batman adventures.
Okay.
Then we have the first appearance of Robin, which actually takes place before Batman issue number 1. And then I have the first story in Batman issue 1 because it is the origin of another famous Batman character.
Great.
So not only are we looking at the beginning of
The
Batman,
Riddler.
we're looking at.
Did I get it?
No, you didn't. But it is the villain in the very first issue of the solo Batman comic.
Okay. All right.
But so we're looking at multiple origins in a way, and also if we have time, I just got onto the an add-on of the Secret Life of Catwoman of a ridiculous origin they tried to explain away to her. If we get to that,
wow.
She also does technically appear in Batman issue number 1,
Was she
but not the story we're focusing
Was she a big cat trainer?
on. No,
Oh, okay.
those are small cats.
Oh, okay.
She's a small cat trainer, maybe. Those are house cats. Here's the thing.
Nobody ever says that. I'm a small cat trainer. Watch me put this shiny chair in his mouth.
You know what's so funny is this is probably going to be somebody's first episode,
That's right,
and they're going to be like, I don't know
what is
what
wrong with these people.
Exactly.
Yeah. And who's Jeff?
So Detective Comics. Before I give you this, Mike, I wanted to go through because I found this very interesting. In the very first issue of Detective Comics from May of 1939, in the opening, like you open the cover, Batman is on the cover, obviously, in his introduction issue. But on the inside cover, there's like a crime never pays, like infographic kind of explaining facts
They need
around
to tell
crime
you
in the time.
that crime never pays.
So I wanted to read these to you just in
Please.
case you were unaware.
Please.
Did you know that bullets betray no less than fingerprints, Mike? Here, I'll read it in my radio voice, too.
What?
I'm just reading how it says. Forensic ballistics, the scientific study of missiles, is a great
Scientific study of missiles.
MISSILS.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Missiles? Missiles is a
I
great
had the missiles when I was a kid.
is a great aid in crime detection. An individual firearm will literally stamp its own fingerprint.
Oh.
No two guns are alike, and each marks the bullet it shoots. Today, all scientifically trained detectives possess the necessary qualifications to act as experts and can tell what type of weapon discharges a bullet.
Yeah.
So they're already telling kids, hey, every cop that's trained on it can just be like, that gun fired that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I've seen that before, like the striations.
Yeah.
There's a big word.
There you
for
go. So we're telling kids about this back in 1939.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
There's also one. Did you know about
Don't be a goof. Don't shoot anybody.
A traveling crime headquarters, Mike?
What?
A police headquarters on wheels, an automobile trailer that can speed directly to the scene of a suspected or known crime.
An automobile trailer cannot speed by itself.
Without delay, and it's used by the Nassau County Police Detective Division in New York.
Nassau? Like Florida?
No, in New York. Nassau, like Long Island. I know there's like the Nassau Coliseum.
Nassau was Florida.
No, I think it's Long Island because Nassau Coliseum isn't out there, right?
Where have I been going?
I mean, I think there might be a Nassau in Florida. NASA's in Houston.
Well, I thought. Okay.
I don't know.
I thought there was a Nassau County in Florida.
There probably is. I just know the Nassau, and because I think in sports, so I think Nassau Coliseum.
Damn it, Jeff.
Yeah, you got to quit bringing on Jeff. So it talks about this. There's, for some reason, it tells us that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police came into existence over 60 years ago in 1875. And today there's a total of nearly 3,000 in the force.
Wow.
So 3,000 Mounties back in 1939.
Wow. Today, with inflation, that would be 1 million.
But I don't think it works like that with people.
Oh, sorry.
The last two, my favorite, there was one where it talks about somebody robbed the U.S. Treasury on some gold they had on display, but it turns out that they didn't make away with anything because it was just gilded scrap iron.
The U.S. Treasury is hey, look at our gold. Look, punk.
No, that's the thing.
Take our gold.
The gold they had on display was just gilded scrap iron.
Yeah, gilded.
Yeah, gilded.
Gilded scrap iron.
And then my favorite of the crime never pays here was this story called Hole in Leaf Clue.
What?
hole in leaf clue.
Okay.
When a man was mysteriously shot to death, Luke May.
I don't think it was mysterious. He was shot to death.
Luke May, criminologist of Seattle Wash, called on the case. The victim had been shot by someone outside the house. As he sat by the window in his study, Luke May noticed, because we can't just call him Luke now.
Luke May.
Luke May noticed that if the shot had been fired close to the glass, the pane would have been broken.
That's true.
Outside near a tree,
Good job,
May
Luke
looked May looked around for clues and glanced at a leaf on level with the window. Through it,
Look at this leaf.
Through it was a bullet hole. Tracing the flight of the slug led him to a window in a rooming house across the street. The slayer had occupied the room. His description was secured, and he was arrested.
Wow.
All because of that leaf with a bullet hole in it, Mike.
Luke found the leaf. Good job, Luke.
So I will now hand you over your copy.
Batman looks weird.
As we will look and bounce into the first very two original issues of Batman here before.
What is a writ of habeas corpus?
Oh yeah, it has that on there. You got to flip it upside down to read it.
Oh no!
But it's
I don't like that.
It has something to do with about presenting the prisoner, or like you have to deliver somebody here and there, right? I don't know. I'm paraphrasing, probably very poorly.
I'm trying to read it upside down, and I can't.
Here, you want me to?
No.
Okay,
I don't care.
No, that care. All right, so I was probably off on habeas corpus.
Habeas
Don't say me.
my corpus.
So let's look at Detective Comics.
All
number
right.
27.
I didn't do it, Commissioner.
So we start off. Bruce Wayne's always Bruce Wayne, so you don't have to worry about that.
God, this art is terrible.
Yeah. Obviously, mine looks a little bit better too, though, because it's yours is just.
Look at that.
So yours is
the art is still terrible.
It is, but yours is a scan of the original. Yeah. No, Batman changes a lot from very early on. Sometimes it looks like he doesn't have ears at all.
The perspective on this is just terrible.
But Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne to begin with, and he's already friends with Commissioner Gordon when everything starts.
Sure.
So while he's over there, he's just like, "Hey, Commish,
Lazy-ass writing.
anything going on, dude? It's bad. But it's early comiings. We've talked about.
I got you. Sure. Racism and bad writing.
Yeah.
Sure.
But iconic figures. Some things they don't want you to remember. But
Sure.
Batman's safe so far, at least.
Okay, good.
In what I read, I probably just haven't read enough.
It's a lot of pipes.
Oh, it is a lot of pipes. So while Bruce Wayne is smoking his pipe with Commissioner Gordon gets a call that he finds out that a local chemical king has been stabbed to death.
A chemical king.
Chemical king.
I think I think they're passing the pipe back and forth. Because look, in the first panel, Bruce Wayne does not have a pipe. In the third panel, Bruce Wayne has a pipe, but the commissioner does not have a pipe. They're passing that pipe back and forth.
Well, no, Bruce has a pipe in both.
He has a pipe. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah,
okay.
he does.
I'm sorry. It's the quality of the scan.
It's the quality of your scan. My
Sure.
bad. I just wanted you to feel like, hey, you found one from 1939.
I just wanted them to pass the pipe back and forth.
No,
I
it's
thought
not.
That would have been
well, here's the
fantastic.
thing, too, is the commissioner is like smoking a cigarette while Bruce is smoking a pipe
Oh, that is a cigarette.
or a cigar. I don't know.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. I'm so
now,
sorry.
this has been
Please continue.
This has been Gotham Smoking Habits Weekly. Also, a little thing not mentioned, Gotham City. It's just the
Really?
big city
Really?
outside the town in these first ones.
Okay.
So
All right.
eventually it'll get there, but at least the first episode's here. So this chemical king has been killed. You
You remember in the 90s when the Chemical Kings were fighting the Bloods and the Crips?
No.
Remember that was big?
No, I remember them making like dance remixes probably.
The Chemical Kings?
The Chemical
Yeah,
Kings? Doesn't
that's
that
where the
sound
brothers came from. The Chemical Brothers.
Gotcha. So, see, this is why I have to power through.
Yeah, you do have to power through it. Yeah, you're right.
Commissioner says, "Hey, Bruce, if you want to just, come along with me, you can." And he takes him to the crime scene with him.
Sure, what the hell?
And while they're there, they find the son of the Chemical King here is there. And they're like, his fingerprints all over the murder weapon.
And the guy's name is Lambert.
Lambert, yes.
Okay.
Hello, Lambert. They say you killed your father. And Lambert says, "I didn't do it, Commissioner. Basically, I came in. He was already stabbed in the back. I flipped him over and pulled the knife out. And I asked him, and he just said, contract were his last words, essentially.
Right in front of that big open safe.
Yeah. And So what we come to find out is there is a secret contract that has been written up. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. We find out though that the Chemical King has a partnership for his
Chemical King.
Yeah, his chemical company.
This is the worst.
With 3 other men.
Yeah.
One of these other men has also been getting threats as well on his life. So the cops go over to see this man. He's been shot already. But when they get there, they notice that Batman is on top of the roof with these criminals. What has happened is, I'm kind of jumping through and just to make the story work.
I got you, sure.
There's a lot of things that are, together. When the phone call comes in while Commissioner Gordon's there, Bruce Wayne leaves.
Which, by the way, it's a 2-piece phone.
It is a 2-piece phone.
That's how old this is.
Yes.
2-piece phone.
It is a 2-piece phone.
One earpiece and then into the mouth. Yeah.
Bruce Wayne knows that he's going to go check on the other, partners in this chemical business.
Yeah.
So when he shows up, he gets to the house late. The guy's already been killed, but the thieves are trying to escape. He apprehends the thieves, steals the note that they have there with their orders kind of on it, and he flees. But in typical Batman fashion, when the cops get there, they see him.
Sure.
And so they think the Batman is associated with this.
And these criminals say, the Batman.
That's also
There's a dash.
It is a dash.
Yeah,
it's it's not just Batman. It's the Batman.
He's
all
got
the time.
some big ass ears.
Not all the time though.
Okay.
So what happens?
He's got the note.
But he grabs his second adversary in a deadly headlock, and with a mighty heave-ho sends the burly criminal flying through space.
Yeah, look at that burly criminal go.
And he steals he steals the note there. And then it says the Batman reads the paper he snatched from the killers, and a grim smile comes to his lips. You want to know what he reads? Too bad, we're not going to tell you.
Okay.
And he just drives away in his car. That's how Batman gets around a lot early on. It's just his car. So there are now just 2 of the partners left. So one of the partners, I believe his name is Stryker. No. Okay. Rogers. Rogers and Stryker are the names of the 2 last remaining partners.
Sure. 2 bad guys.
Rogers goes to see Stryker. Stryker's assistant kind of knocks him out over the head.
Smacks him right on the back of the head with a billy club.
He does. Knocks him out, ties him up, basically tells him what it is here is I'm going to lower this giant glass thing over you.
Yeah.
I'm going to release gas. It's going to kill you. This is how I dispose of guinea pigs I do tests on.
Sure.
Or I kill them and then do tests on them.
Because if you can do something as slow as possible, do it that way.
So he's like, all right, I'm going to lower it down and then go down and turn the gas on. And he just leaves them. He goes down, typical bad guy fashion.
Batman.
And Batman leaps through.
He jumps under the glass.
Yeah, slides underneath the glass, wraps a cloth and shoves it up there so the gas doesn't come out. Then takes a wrench and busts. I guess he
happens to have a pipe wrench.
No, Batman seizes a wrench from a table and leaps for the glass. So he grabbed it as he went in.
Yeah, there he goes.
I'll defend the writing there.
Good job, Batman. This looks like it was drawn by a 12-year-old.
I don't know. It doesn't.
Oh, come on. Look at that. Look at that.
Boy, it looks better. I'm telling you.
That is rough, dude. Come on. That's rough. It literally says crash.
Well, fine. It's 1939, mate.
They're rolling on top of each other.
Yeah. So, as he gets out,
this was probably a bad idea giving me my own copy.
I know. Yeah. I realize that now.
Yeah, now
why
you do. Sure.
There's a reason why I took notes away from you too early on.
Yes, exactly.
So, I get reminded every now and then. That's
you're
fine.
Good. No, I will shut up.
You're totally fine. So,
stop it, Jeff.
So the guy comes back out, the assistant. He's like, "Oh wait, Batman, what? The gas didn't work."
Oh my God, my plan of leaving a guy here and covering him with a glass that comes down real slowly and me going downstairs and turning on the gas didn't work.
It didn't work. So Batman disposes of him, and then the actual partner, Mr. Stryker, shows up. And Rogers tells Stryker, your assistant tried to kill me when I got
Jennings.
here. Yeah, tried to kill me when I got here.
Yeah.
Stryker doesn't see Batman's around. He's like, so he didn't finish the job, then I'll take care of you. So Stryker dives after Rogers to try to kill him so he can be the last remaining partner.
Well, he says he's going to throw his body in an acid tank.
So
it's rough.
Exactly. So Batman steals the knife, and like all all good guys did at that time, he gets him to write a confession.
Sure.
And as they're about to take him in to the police, he pushes Batman away. He being Stryker, our villain here,
Right.
pushes Batman away, pulls a gun out, shoots, misses Batman as he shoots, but Batman gives him a good old
Sock.
left cross, and Stryker falls over the edge and into a vat of acid.
So it's the first
where-
guy that Batman's killed.
No,
Oh,
that's the second guy Batman's killed.
who'd he kill first?
Go back a little bit. The guys on the roof.
Oh, that's right. He
The
threw the
deadly.
guy
He
into,
threw one guy
Yeah.
off top of the
Yeah,
roof.
that's right.
And he
Okay.
punched a guy into acid.
Well,
This is for a guy who doesn't kill.
yeah,
Batman has already killed 2 guys in his very first appearance. So he says a fitting end for his kind, and he's also kind of mean like
yeah,
Superman about
he
it
is
too.
kind of a dick about it.
But then essentially he takes the where am I at? Oh, there we go. Rogers said that the Batman went through the skylight. Basically, Rogers went and tells Commissioner Gordon everything that happened.
Yeah.
And
smoking
he's
a pipe.
passed this all along to Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne says, "A very lovely fairy tale, Commissioner, indeed." Trying to like play it off, like, "Oh no, I'm not this Batman guy."
Sure. Yeah.
And then it just ends where it's like, what is? Oh, Bruce Wayne is a nice young chap, but he certainly must leave a. Damn, if I could only talk. Bruce Wayne is a nice young chap, but he certainly must lead a boring life. Seems disinterested in everything. And then it ends with a panel. Bruce Wayne returns home to his room. A little later, his door exactly. He has a room in his house. A little later, his door slowly opens and reveals its occupant. If the commissioner could see his young friend now, he'd be amazed to learn that he is the Batman.
The Batman.
And that is the end of our very first.
What does that last one say? A little weird panel. at
Oh,
the end.
watch for the new thrilling Batman
okay.
story next
All right.
month.
Gotcha.
Our next story, it'll be
These
another one.
ears are so weird.
There's a later on, like we're not here
Floppy ears.
just to show you because we're not going to cover it.
Yeah.
But within the first 10 appearances of Batman, we're back to a Batman
he
you know
changes.
already.
Yeah, he changes.
And so this is within a year
yeah,
that we go from here
gotcha.
already to here. So he does become.
They were like, "Hey, we sold some of those. Get my nephew off of drawing."
Yeah,
those,
see,
and let's
I
get a
would
real-"
say maybe we start to see it develop kind of around here. He has longer ears.
Yeah.
So by 34, so by about the 7th,
Oh yeah, look at him. He's
Oh,
really
a little bit-
developing.
a little
About
bit
the time
before
Robin
that.
shows up.
so that's before, it's even before that. I would say we're looking at 32. So about the 5th one in.
Okay.
About 5 in, he finally finds his.
Okay. The art does get better.
Yeah, there's some, just over time, it gets a little bit better.
Sure.
But so a second adventure, Bruce Wayne already starts. First, I should say that they make fun of a kid, his lisp or his speech impediment, something to start off this first episode. It says Wuck Street. Don't know what that means. Wuxtry, Wuck Street.
I think he's saying extra, but it's spelled with a W for some reason.
And then it says $100,000 jewel robbery, JOOL.
Oh no, Joel.
Jewel thieves
Joel robbery.
pull fifth sensational robbery. I feel like
Why
that's
is he
super
English?
offensive. I'm not going to. I don't know. I was kind of going more New
Joel
Yorker.
robbery.
But and they're like,
Wextree.
what? So I don't know if it's just them making fun of the way the kid talks or an accent or what
Well, the
they're
kid's
doing
kind
here.
of goofy looking too.
He is. He's hawking papers on the corner. Also, Mike, something I just noticed that I find funny. If you look up, it says Batman by, and I know it says it's supposed to be Robert Kane or Bob Kane, who we've talked about with him and Bill Finger.
Why do you abbreviate Robert?
Robt.
Robert.
R-O-B apostrophe T.
apostrophe T?
Robt Kane.
I have never seen the word Robert.
I hadn't until then,
abbreviated
but
like that.
also it has the.
Why wouldn't you just put Bob?
Well, he does eventually put Bob Kane.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I don't know.
it'd save you 2 characters.
But it also has the scales of justice. So
Scales
it
of
looks like
justice.
the Batman by justice.
Justice Rupp Kane.
Or maybe so he's a Supreme Court justice. Anyway,
maybe.
so back to our story. Batman, just like Superman, likes to be a super ass sometimes.
Yeah.
And he is going to bend the law to his own liking here very early on in his very second appearance. It says that night, Bruce Wayne, the Batman, dials a number and then, disguising his voice, speaks. And he says, "Hello, Gimpy. This is Commissioner Gordon."
Hello, Gimpy.
Hello.
This is Commissioner Gordon.
Is that
Yeah,
how
that's how he
I
says
need to
it.
relate
Yeah.
that? All right.
Hello, Gimpy.
Hello, Gimpy. This is Commissioner Gordon. I don't think that's a good voice, but I'll keep doing it. Did you get... Oh, I can't read. Did you get the information about the Jewel Gang? If you did, you better spill it, or else you'll be back in the pen to stay. Well... So he's impersonating in that just flawless
I
Commissioner
loved
Gordon.
it. Yeah, I loved
did.
it. I loved it.
I channeled Gary Oldman, honestly, from the Nolan Batman
Gary
series.
Old Dash Man.
Old Dash Man.
Gary Old Man.
But no. But aside from that, he's impersonating the commissioner to basically get... It says Gimpy is a stool pigeon.
Oh.
So in case you were curious, that's who Gimpy is. And he's in the employ of the police department. Having a criminal record, he has access to the haunts of the underworld.
Oh, boy.
So Gimpy tells who he thinks is Commissioner Gordon that, "Look, Chief, Frenchie Blake is behind the gang. And they're going
Frenchie
to...
Blake.
Frenchie Blake. And they're going to pull a job tonight at the apartment on the of the Vandersmiths. It's the truth.
Vandersmiths.
The Vandersmiths.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Help me."
It's the truth.
So it says that night, and it's oddly drawn where it's day out time
It is
outside for it to
daytime,
be
yeah.
night. But still, that night, the slick jewel thieves have already pulled the job, and they're making their escape to the roof, where Batman, it looks like he's about to throw a chimney on
Well,
somebody.
that's what I'm saying. Why is he moving the chimney?
But it's just terrible art in that part, I think. I think he's like trying to like peer around it. I think it's a scene like it's trying to be cool and like lean in.
I
But
got you.
it's so suddenly, like a huge bat, the figure of the Batman sails through the air. The Batman downs one of the jewel thieves as the other's fearful shot from a gun might attract the police. Draws the ever silent knife, because the ever silent knife.
The ever silent knife.
Or it's a brand that they're hawking already. Like, hey, when I want to stab somebody in silence, I make sure to buy my ever silent or use my ever silent knife.
Well, with Christmas just passing, we had our ever silent knife. Hey, he kicks him off the top of the thing here, and he goes, "Yeah!"
Yeah. So Batman has thrown him off the top of the roof.
Okay.
That's another killer.
Killed the third guy.
And it says, meanwhile, the other thief, unsteady, rises to
He's
his feet.
shaking.
He is by this Batman. He turns and he shoots Batman.
Oh.
Nope. Sorry. I got confused.
He tried to shoot him.
He tries to shoot Batman.
Batman
I got ahead of
popped him
myself. He did.
Is
There's.
Batman wearing a wristwatch in that thing where he's punching somebody?
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
It's like
But
he's
no,
got a Timex on.
I think it's the tie around for the rope.
Oh, okay.
That he has.
All right.
So there's a whole page essentially worth of panels that is committed to showing Batman tie a rope, throw it around a flagpole,
Yeah.
swing off of this building, and do a flip and amaze the cops. This story is 6 pages long, and there's a whole page essentially.
So on this one, I can't. Like you say, it's a bad scan. But
Yeah.
does he have a bat on his chest, or is it plain?
No, it's just plain.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have the bat logo yet. That will show randomly too.
All right.
So he escapes, and what happens though is as he's running away, like after he's downed one of the henchmen, he picks up the bag of jewels and he waits, and the cops see him, and then he drops the jewels and he escapes like that. So the news prints, Batman, head of Jewel Gang, eludes capture of the spectacular leap.
Is this the way they used to do headlines? They would just run on as far as they could, and then
Yes.
it was all left justified.
Yeah.
Is that what? Okay.
I guess I have
Sure.
no clue.
Everything was left justified.
And then it's
in
like,
the
why
30s.
is the font that large? I don't know. So what we have here is now the
I like how Batman is in quotes.
it is.
too.
It's always Batman. So we're back at Frenchie Blake's apartment, who is the real orchestrator of this
I'm
gang.
telling you, if I've ever seen somebody who looks like a Frenchie Blake, that guy
That is
looks
Frenchie
like
Blake.
a Frenchie
He
Blake.
kind of does, doesn't
He
he?
has a monocle. He has
The
he's
conquistador
a
facial hair.
He's a Svengali kind of,
What does that mean?
Like he hypnotizes people with his
is that what?
eyes and his hands.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was the phrase for it.
He's a Svengali.
Okay.
I think that's probably a slur of some kind, but I don't mean it.
First, I have to make sure that my stance is known.
Jeff the Gypsy.
What? Quit going after Jeff. I'm sorry again, Jeff. It's all Mike. So,
it is me.
But while they're talking about like, oh, the Batman did us a favor, now the cops don't think it's us.
Yeah.
While this is all going on, Batman's just hanging from his rope outside of his window listening.
Wait, what is this guy's name again? Frenchie
Blake.
Frenchie Magoo?
Frenchie Blake.
Frenchie Blake. How do you think he speaks?
You want me to do a voice?
I want you to do Frenchie Blake.
I don't know where I got off on doing voices.
Frenchie Blake.
The Batman certainly. I didn't know what to go with.
Oh, that's perfect, though.
Okay.
The Batman has solved this crime for us.
It's kind of like part Conan O'Brien.
It is.
That's kind of what I'm going for.
All I think of is like wacky races.
Yes. Like Snidely Whiplash. Like I expect
the Batman.
Frenchie Blake does look like one of his henchmen should just stand by him going,
like, you got it, boss.
So I'll admit this. It's a little embarrassing, but just to make it a little less, embarrassing for me, I'll throw my brother under the bus too. When we get really tickled at something and get really laughing, we kind of muttly laugh. Kind of like the...
You get like
we just get like so
laugh. Yeah.
So I'm sure that's very cool to see.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But so Batman basically just listens in. Here's their new plan.
You know, there's a whole like section of I've learned this over the last probably month.
Yeah.
There's a whole section on YouTube that's just people that can't stop laughing. You ever seen that?
No.
Mm-hmm. Just look up. If you get some time sometime, look up, because this is all I watch now when I go to bed.
People laughing?
No.
Oh.
It leads to that.
Oh, okay.
So you start off, you just search for news bloopers. Because I love news bloopers.
Okay, news bloopers are pretty funny.
I love them.
But I feel like after
a weatherman fall down, that's the best.
Your favorites are the weathermen falling down?
I love it when they like, hey, look at the, and they just fall over or something, or they're wearing the green suit or whatever.
I always like the one where the other anchors just get too tickled about something, like somebody misspeaks, and then they're all just too tickled. And
I love that.
Yeah.
But see, that's where it leads you. The algorithm then thinks, oh, you
just like people
laughing. So now let's just show you videos of people laughing. So then you get into this tailspin of these videos where it's just people going, just laughing and then
where does it go?
If you're not careful, you get into the Family Feud. It leads you right into the Steve Harvey hole.
I'll never forget. Because it was, oh man.
Remember when he got sued for the Steve Harvey hole?
No, the Steve Harvey hole.
It's a joke.
I was gonna make something that I heard. I had somebody tell me once talking about TikTok algorithms the same way.
Yeah,
it's YouTube, and they were talking about. I was like, oh, like they're talking about the videos they get, and I'm like, I get some of those. That's kind of cool. Oh, I'd like to get more like that. And they're like, oh, well, I'm on this side of TikTok.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, there's sides of TikTok. And they're like, yeah,
this
once you find this, and like once you go through this side and you get this side, then you get this side. I'm like there was like a way to get to see, and I was like, all right. And I was like, well, how do I get, because what was happening is this person it was like, I don't remember how I got there, but somebody that she liked, that she would show me pictures of was just a really good, cool content creator.
Okay.
And I was like, well, how do you get to that person? Yeah, I'd like to follow them. And they go, oh.
Practice.
Well, no, they're on gay TikTok. I said, oh, okay.
There is a gay TikTok?
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I guess that makes sense. Okay. How do you get to gay? And the person said, you get to gay TikTok through frog TikTok. And I go, are
frog.
the two?
Did you just say frog?
Or maybe it was the other way. Maybe get to frog TikTok through one way or the other.
All right.
All I know is I heard that and I was like, either that's very weird. Three things. I thought either that's really weird. And then the other two involve Alex Jones.
Well, that's what I was going to say, right? Alex Jones turns the frogs gay.
I was
That's
like,
right.
either somebody was just like Alex Jones was right, and that's how they're going to follow it.
Sure.
Or somebody was just like, this is how we're going to lead to it, and it'd be, you know.
Somebody typed in Alex Jones gay frogs into the chat GPT.
Yes.
And the AI said, "Oh, gay TikTok."
Yeah.
That's how that happens.
Oh man, good old Alex Jones.
There's some.
Speaking of that,
you know,
have you watched any
dirty
of him
stuff on
in
TikTok, right? They got an adult TikTok.
I don't. Yeah, it's called OnlyFans.
No, man. TikTok has their own little. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not good. I don't know.
Is it one of those things that like?
Do you remember the Snapchat bad stuff?
No.
Like it would disappear.
Well, I mean, like
right?
I know the Snapchat app. Obviously, like that was part of the.
Here's my butt, and then it just disappears, right? That kind of thing. Here's my butt
on Snapchat. I'm glad we waited till after. I'm glad we waited till after that phase for us to stop this podcast. I would hate to come in and be like, I sent somebody a picture of my butt again on
Here's my butt. Here's my butt. Oh, disappeared.
Oh man! All right, so we got completely off.
Yeah, Snidely Whiplash said.
So, Frenchie Blake, essentially, since his guy is out, we got way off the rails. So, and Batman stops them from their next job, and then he hunts down Frenchie Blake, and he shows up, and he's like, "Hey,
you know the problem is Batman's head's too big in a lot of these."
Oh, it is for sure. But he tells Frenchie like, "Hey, I've caught your men," you know, and he punches him, ties his rope around him, and throws him out the apartment window.
He's just like hanging out the window
hangs him there.
Yeah.
And he's like, Frenchie's like pleading for his life, and Batman tells him, "Keep quiet and listen. I want a complete written confession from you about those jewel robberies, or else I'll cut the rope."
Yeah,
he's now telling him, "You either right." Now, granted, we have seen that he is obviously the main villain here, so I get this. Right. But if we didn't know the full story, I feel like Batman could easily get somebody else to write a false confession behind.
Do you think
also throwing them out the window?
Do you think if Batman saw like an old lady steal an onion or something, he would just punch her? Like let's say these old comics, right, where like there's some old lady and she's stealing onions. I don't know why onions, but
yeah,
she's stealing onions. And like she's trying to feed her family, but Batman doesn't know that.
Oh, you know,
because he doesn't ask many questions.
No, Batman would for sure punch a woman.
He'd punch an old lady, right?
I would also point out, I was reading this earlier during one
like
of our,
this one just says suddenly
during I was going to get a dig in. I was going to say during one of our many breaks tonight.
Oh, sorry, that's my fault.
I don't care. It says his earliest stories reveal Batman as he was initially conceived, a mysterious dark nemesis of crime, a no-nonsense vigilante driven by some inner demon to eliminate society's malefactors. Later, with the introduction of Robin, we are presented to the more human side of our protagonist. Not so fierce, perhaps, but every bit as resolute. No, I can tell you. That's not the case. All right, let's wrap up Frenchie.
Batman, punch first, ask questions later.
So, Batman pulls Frenchie back up. He writes out the confession here.
Yeah.
And then it says, as you said, suddenly, Frenchie, after signing the confession, dives across the table at Batman.
Yeah, tries to attack him.
And Batman just punches him across the face.
He knocks the crap out of him.
Grabs him back up, and Frenchie pleads, "Don't hit me like that again, please. Don't hit me."
Very nice.
That was a different voice than the last.
You're going to get some voice work.
Oh, man. Have I told you I did do voice work at one point in time?
No. What'd you do it for?
There's a YouTube.
Gay TikTok?
I would be honored if they would have me.
Sure, yeah. But not that frog TikTok.
Even frog TikTok. Any TikTok I would take, except Jeff. Any TikTok I would be down for. That was just a terrible. Well, what we're talking about, voice work. I'm not going to tell you the name of it because then you can hunt it down. I voiced, funny enough, and it's not that it's a great project. I like to be able to control who knows about it and who doesn't. But back about, oh man, it's been a while. I was still at the radio station.
Okay.
So like 7-8 years ago.
Right.
I somehow made friends with and connected with this guy who lived up in Canada.
Okay.
And he animated through a program that he had. He wrote full scripts and animated like Marvel adventures and stuff. So they're comic book related, but they were funny and humorous, and it wasn't really like they involved the characters,
Right.
but it was just strictly satirical and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so there's
Who'd you do?
I did in a Spider-Man episode, I did Sandman. And then the one that I did most, that I even had an IMDb page for a while, until somebody else with my name decided to commandeer it, and they got it.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they just combined the two, and he was given credit for my work. And I was like,
oh, no.
it's different when it's like, yeah, he has his own, and maybe I don't have one, but that's my voice.
Yeah.
But I played Captain America a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was just like this.
Yeah.
You know,
Just straight up
super
like that?
nasally, congested, sexy.
Hey,
all get out.
Hey, everybody. I'm Captain
Yeah,
America.
hey everybody, I'm Captain America.
Look at my shield.
Yeah, lick my shield. Is that
No, I
what you
said look at my shield.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
said
sorry.
lick my
Sorry.
shield.
Have a hard time getting the tongue across the teeth there.
Chris Evans can suck it.
Lick my shield.
Lick my shield.
All right, so Batman wraps this up with a big note.
That's true. So, wow. So yeah,
He
he
takes
just wraps
Frenchie
it up.
Magoo here and ties him up into a bundle and just
leaves
dumps him in front of the police station.
Essentially, he has the note, and it says, Batman writes this note after he drops off Frenchie Blake, and it says, Dear Commissioner, I thought you might like to have the leader of the Jewel Gang am also leaving his confession and stolen jewels. Till we meet again, I remain. And he does not sign it, the Batman. It's and then it's a picture of a bat.
Picture of a bat.
So Batman took the
bat.
time to just write and then draw a whole picture of a bat on the letter. That ends before we get to the last two stories that I have for this. One thing I want to cover real quick. We're not going to get to any more of the solo Batman adventures.
Yeah.
There is one I brought up, him being shot. In the next appearance, he does get shot. And there's a panel in here I wanted to make sure to touch on because it's him at the doctor. And I thought this was the stupidest way.
Batman at the doctor?
It's Batman. No, it's Bruce Wayne at the doctor.
Oh, okay.
So he's been shot. So he's at the doctor.
Okay.
And the doctor says, "It's all right now, Bruce. But how did you shoot yourself when there are no powder marks on your flesh?"
No more monkeys.
So doctor's like, "How'd you shoot yourself?" There's like, no, you know. And Bruce goes, "I do funny things sometimes, Doc. I'll tell you all about it someday. Thanks for everything."
I just shoved this bullet in real slow.
Hey, Doc, I do funny things sometimes, like shoot myself
Sometimes
randomly.
I shoot myself when I'm sitting around.
Oh, just because I get bored. The life of a billionaire playboy.
Everybody's got to
mean?
have a hobby, Doc. Mine is shooting myself.
So, oh, man.
All right. Should we take a small commercial break?
This is the perfect time because then we'll come back and close out our look at Batman with the first appearance of Robin that we'll cover pretty quickly.
And I have questions about Robin here.
And then we also have the first appearance of a big time villain as well. We'll get to that all next after we hear a quick word from our sponsor, Batman Wrist Ropes. And welcome back.
Well, thanks.
Mike, I'm
glad.
that
was to the audience.
No, I mean, welcome back to you, too.
Oh, thank you.
So while you were gone, we honestly just sat here in silence until the commercial break was over.
We did.
You know what's funny? I'll keep...
I didn't think Bill Cosby still did those pudding pop commercials.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You would think they would change it by now. That's a bad taste.
You ever want to feel sleepy?
Okay. Out of all the voices we did, I didn't think that was going to be one that... Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. At least we get to cover my favorite hero and the one that gets us canceled.
Oh.
So I kid. But what we have now is we jump ahead to Detective Comics number 38, where we are introduced to the sensational character find of 1940, Robin, the Boy Wonder.
And why? Okay, here's my question.
Yeah.
Right in this, this is the cover of Detective Comics.
How the inside is also basically the same thing
of number 38. I have a couple questions. One,
from
Batman,
April of 1940.
Batman's the goofy looking Batman up here at the top with the big ass ears.
Yep.
Right. But then down here, he's more of the like 60s, Batman that we're so accustomed to.
Yep.
And then why is Robin jumping through a paper hoop?
Because he's from the circus. Remember, his
But
parents are.
Batman's holding up the paper hoop.
He just looks cooler.
It does not look cooler.
Who else is going to be holding up the hoop, Mike?
Nobody needs to hold up a hoop.
Then what's he going to jump through?
He jumped through my heart.
Oh, I think he jumps firmly through all of our hearts through this, Mike.
Poor Robin.
So
Why is his short so short?
I don't
by
know.
The way?
I think he just liked to be able to move. He like letting his thighs breathe a bit.
Oh yeah.
When he was doing all them judo kicks.
He gets
they're judo throws. I don't know why I said judo
he gets
kicks.
a lot of those ingrown hairs on the inside of his thighs if he covers them up.
Exactly. So he wants to show me. And I think maybe I'm
circus.
This
sweat.
is gonna sound super weird. But I do want to point out before I say this is a completely fictional character.
Robin?
Yeah, he's got some pretty toned thighs though, man.
He does. Yeah,
like,
he has some big ass thighs.
Him and Batman both. Like
Batman's got the big thighs.
They don't skip on leg day.
No, they're all about leg day.
They are definitely them thighs.
Batman is.
Hey, thick thighs save lives, especially in Gotham. So
I don't like the way that Batman's hand is like going in his butt there, though. That's kind of weird.
It's held behind his back, but it's folded to where like his knuckles are pushing into his butt. Doesn't it look
he's like
that?
He's pushing his crotch out.
Look
at this! Presenting the sensational find of 1940, my crotch. My back crotch.
Oh,
hey,
man.
he doesn't have a hyphen in his name anymore, though.
No, he doesn't. By 1940, we got rid of that damn hyphen. So...
Oh, it was the war. They were short on hyphens.
So we had to give it up.
No, save a hyphen, save a life.
We hadn't joined the war yet. This is April 1940.
Well, we were getting ready.
Pearl Harbor happened in
We needed all
December.
the hyphens we needed, or we could get.
So what happens here is if you know
Pearl-Harbor.
Robin's story, funny enough, it's a lot similar to how it was originally.
Yeah.
So
He was in the circus.
I'm going to kind of just go over the origin of Robin here, where it says that, the Flying Graysons are a big attraction for the circus. One night, he passes by Mr. Holly's room, and Holly's the owner of the circus. It's Holly Circus. And he overhears, and if you pay us, we protect you. Get it, Holly? And the other guy says, yes. Or no, Holly says, yes, I get it. You're gangsters. It's a protection racket. I'll call the police. And these guys are like, that's fine. You didn't want to pay us. Just know accidents will happen.
Accidents will happen.
As well. They tell him as
That's
they
right.
leave. It just so happens the next night, Bruce Wayne is obviously there to watch the show. And while the Graysons are doing their death-defying triple spin.
Oh, my. Listen to that.
I know.
You hear that?
I do.
It's a lot of cackling.
It is. But while...
I'm sorry, folks. I pulled you into our real-world drama here. We have some cackling going on in the background.
We do. Is that the correct terminology?
Is it cackling?
I don't know.
That's a cackle.
I think of birds, and I think like a.
No, you're thinking grackle.
Oh,
you're thinking grackling.
Oh,
it's the
when
dance those kids do on the TikTok. They do the grackling.
Over on
do the grackle challenge.
Bird TikTok.
Bird TikTok.
So
bird TikTok.
Oh man,
that's probably a thing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing: is I'm showing how old I am, even at 34, that we have lost any youngsters. Our demographics is drying up right now.
Sure. Well,
I'm sure they were waiting to listen every week.
I know who's drying up, and it's definitely our demographic. Yeah. They've been trying for a while now. Yeah.
This is good. Oh man.
So his parents were flying through the air.
Oh, his parents were flying into the air. I'd like to welcome in.
Fell down.
I'd like to welcome in. Apparently, according to Mike, and maybe I took this the wrong way, our octogenarian.
All the menopausal women that are listening. Listen, ladies.
All right, we're moving on. So,
do you like wrist ropes?
Batman wrist ropes. So the Graysons are doing their act when all of a sudden the rope snaps. The rope snaps. The rope snaps, and they fall to their deaths.
Mary.
Hey, does that sound familiar?
It does.
Because it's the same name as Clark Kent's parents.
Yeah. Clark Kent? Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was John and Mary.
Yeah.
Exact same.
Yeah, those are very generic names.
So, and obviously young Dick Grayson sees his parents killed in front of him. We do find... It'll come up a little bit later, but it is referenced because Batman shows up.
They'll be killed. They'll be killed.
Yeah, they'll be killed.
And then somebody in the background goes,
because they did die. And we do find out that it was those guys basically telling them, Holly, this is what happens when you don't pay. Will you pay us now? And the owner of the circus is like, yes, I'll pay. I don't want anybody else to die, kind of thing.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you one more time. This is going to be our longest episode ever. But the guy tells Dick Grayson that his parents are dead in front of a bunch of clowns.
He doesn't fully tell him. The head of the circus, Dick Grayson, goes up and goes, are they? Oh no, they. And the guy goes, I'm afraid so, son.
And there are at least 7 clowns behind him. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's even like, it's your typical ones, but even the ones you would think of, like, for lack of a better term, I don't know how to describe it, aside the sad hobo clown that's back there.
Sad hobo clown.
Like from like the 40s that, you know.
Emmett Kelly.
Oh, there you go.
Thank
nice.
You. There's an octogenarian pull they'll appreciate.
Oh, man. That's why they keep coming back for more.
Yeah, buddy. They undried a little bit.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I never thought about this, Mike. We do cover a lot of public domains.
That's true. That's true. Stuff from the 40s. Yeah.
Oh man, what if it is? And I just didn't know that. Like
Metamucil.
See, that's what we need to do. We're just reaching out to the wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
But back to Batman. Basically, just tells Dick Grayson like, "Hey, I had a similar thing happen to me."
How does he know Batman?
No, Batman's already there. I said Bruce is at the circus.
Oh, he's at the circus.
So he shows up and he tells Dick like, "Hey, I know you want to go after the people who killed your parents because they poured acid on the ropes. That's how they got it."
Oh my God.
Yeah. Don't know if I said it like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they poured acid all over them.
Oh, this one's a mess. All right. Either people will love this or hate it. We'll find out.
Well, both.
Yeah. So Batman basically tells him like a similar thing happened to my parents. And I made a vow to fight crime. Right. And Dick tells him, well, I'd like to do that too.
My parents fell from the sky also.
Here's what's weird to me.
In front of clowns.
So Dick says, then I want to also take me with you, please. And it says the Batman is reluctant, but the troubled face of the boy moves him deeply. And he goes, well, I guess you and I were both victims of similar trouble. All right. I'll make you my aid, but I'll warn you, I lead a perilous life. And
then he puts him through some sort of satanic ceremony.
And Master Grayson says, I'm not afraid. It does look like that. It's like a candle in the background and they're holding hands, looking at each other with a hand raised to each other.
I swear that we too will fight together against crime and corruption and never to swerve from the path of righteousness. I swear it.
Here's the thing, too. Batman is in full costume, and it looks like Dick Grayson is in pajamas while they're doing this.
Yeah. All right, Dick, time for bed.
So it essentially shows that Batman trains Dick Grayson to be Robin.
Wait, is that Batman? Is that him at the bottom? That little blurb of a man?
Yeah, that's him at the bottom.
Okay.
Little blurb of a man.
As far as swinging ropes.
And then we get into the story, and the story's not much. I can sum up the story very quickly. So
he just like appears in costume.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, just to show like, hey, he's Robin. All right. I'm Robin.
Essentially, Bruce and Dick figure out that they're trying to figure out the racket that I almost said Prince Zuko, which is super nerdy because everybody knows that is Avatar, not the blue people, the Last Airbender, as in the Nickelodeon anime.
Sure.
Man, can't you see it?
Boy, you just drove off all those old ladies. They don't know what you're talking about.
That's okay. I brought in all the young dudes. Hey, guys. So.
All the young dudes.
Woohoo. Play sand volleyball on Top Gun. It's the same boss or criminal lord that killed
the chemical
Robin's parents, the Chemical King, that killed Robin's parents here, who was named Boss Zuko.
Boss Zuko.
So
he's the big one with the cigar.
Yes, he is. And he talks like every gangster you would think. I just want to read how he talks real quick.
Please do.
I'm not even going to do a voice because I don't.
Come on. Kids love it.
All right.
Get ready, kids.
I'm reading this verbatim, though. I don't want people to think like I'm adding to it.
Use your Bosco decoder rings and listen carefully.
This is how Boss Zuko sounds, and I'm just reading everything that's written as is. Because the group, basically his informants, or not his informants, but his thugs are kind of delivering their insurance taken away. That they go and they kind of,
protection racket.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
The protection racket was brought up. So they're delivering payment and they give it to him. And Boss Zuko is basically telling that it isn't enough. See, you've got to. You got to get more money out of our customers. See, I want you to go to the butchers, the tailors, laundries, and the rest and milk them dry. See, that's right. At the end of every single line, it says, see, all caps. See, it's like, hey, how do gangsters talk? They all say see at the end of it. All right, got it. See? Yeah. All of them get it. See, even the newsboys and the rest of the small stuff. And if they don't play ball, you know what to do. See, start tomorrow night. Essentially, though, Batman takes down this whole racket with the help of Robin.
He literally knocks heads together.
Yes.
Wow.
And Robin is able to kind of help him as well, but they're able to defeat Boss Zuko and get him apprehended.
Batman throws a roulette table at somebody.
No, he just flips it, I thought.
He throws it.
Oh, you're right. He does throw it.
Here's a roulette table to play with, he says.
And he jumps up with
chunks it to people.
Giant roulette table and just throws it at people.
It harkens back to Jesus flipping the tables of the...
In the temple?
Yeah.
I don't remember him being like, here, have some fun with this table.
Yeah, punks.
Granted, Batman is not a direct retelling of the story.
Oh, it's not?
Of Jesus like...
I thought he was
like RoboCop is. So
RoboCop kind of is,
yeah. He walks on water for goodness sake in it. So it's thinly veiled.
It's true.
Essentially, though, they take down Boss Zuko, and that is our first appearance of Robin. I added it just to show.
I like how this bad guy goes. He's throwing all the money on the floor. The money.
Who cares about the crime? Think about the money.
But it's just on the floor. What? I mean, big deal.
Our clean money is all dirty.
Well, it's not like he said he's burning all the money. No, he's throwing it all on the floor.
How dare he throw our money on the floor?
Son of a bat.
So we are now our final. Well, I'll add a little tidbit here to close it out about the Catwoman thing. But our final story, we go to issue number 1 of Batman, which is just spring issue. It's 10 cents. This came out in 1941, the very first issue number 1.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
And what we get here is the Legend of Batman. And I included
he is and how he came to be.
And I included this here. This actually is taken from Detective Comics number 35, I believe. So this was actually given back like about 6 appearances in. They give this backstory. And it's the same one as it's given then. So it's very similar to the backstory we know now. Here it is. So it appeared in Detective Comics number 33. So 27, 28, 29, 30. His 7th appearance, we get this origin story then for Batman.
This is like 5 panels, and it goes through the entire origin story of him and Robin.
Yes.
Like and it's just boom, they're dead. Oh, now I swear. Oh, now we're friends. Oh, now I'm a bat.
No. Oh, no. Robin's not in there at all. That's Bruce.
Oh, that's Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. So Legend of the Batman, it's a very similar thing. His parents, it says one night, some 15 years ago, Thomas Wayne, his wife, and his son were walking home from a movie that we learned. We want to talk about this random knowledge, Mike. Here you go. If you ever have this trivia question come up, I'll help you out here. I believe it's a Zorro movie. I believe it's The Mask of Zorro is what they're seeing.
Is that the one
at the theater when they get
The Mask of
killed.
Zorro? Is that what's shown in the Tim Burton Batman?
No, I mean it's from back on. I think so, but I think it's even in the comics before that too.
Really?
I think so. I could be wrong.
Wow.
Speaking of the Tim Burton Batman, I'm glad you brought that up, Mike, because there's something I'd like to point out about this when we get to it.
Okay.
But so they're from
I bet
a movie.
I've seen the Tim Burton Batman movie like 40 times.
Really? Okay.
I bet I've seen it that many times.
I do enjoy the first.
Well,
both of them are really good.
My buddy worked as the assistant manager at a theater at that time
when it came out in '89.
And so all we did was like play that and stay up all night in the theater.
Oh, that's awesome. Then
crawled around in the
things
attic and found posters and all kinds of
That's really cool.
While Batman's playing. No, it's gross because anyway.
Yeah. So we get. I thought it was cool. So they're pulled. They're mugged by a criminal who ends up
Yep.
becoming Joe Chill. There's another
Joe
trivia
Chill.
question.
I knew that one.
Later on. But Thomas is shot when he's sticking up for his wife as the guy's trying to steal Martha's necklace.
Right.
It doesn't give her name here. We just
Yeah.
know Thomas's.
Yeah.
But
He was trying to take the pearl necklace, right?
yes,
Yeah.
but essentially,
Ultimately, we find out
both
it's
his
pearls,
mom,
right?
yeah, it is pearls. Both
'Cause
his
they
mom
go
and
flying in
dad.
slow motion.
We've
and all
seen
that
it
stuff, yeah.
so many times over and over again
Yeah.
that it's
I
But
did not know that he became a master scientist and then a bodybuilder, though.
yeah.
That's
So
what we see here.
after his parents are killed, it says that days later, a curious and strange scene takes place. And it shows Bruce there, and he says, "And I swear by the spirits of my parents to avenge their deaths by spending the rest of my life warring on all criminals."
Warring on all criminals.
He becomes a master scientist. He's able to do, it says he trains his body to physical perfection until he's able to perform amazing athletic feats.
Until he's able to perform amazing athletic feats.
So here's the big thing then. How do you become up with the name Batman?
Yeah.
Well, it says, "Dad's estate left me wealthy. I'm ready, but first I must have a disguise." Criminals are superstitious, cowardly lot. So my disguise must be able to strike terror into their hearts. I must be a creature of the night, black, terrible. And he's like sitting here thinking, and a bat flies into his house because he left the window
That
open.
happens all the time.
And he's like, "Oh yes, a bat. I will be the Batman." And
Man, if I could count on one hand the number of times I've had to chase a bat out of my house,
exactly.
I would
How
have-
many?
None.
Yeah. Then we get the very first story
Oh,
of
boy.
issue number 1, where
Look at
we're
this.
introduced to the Joker in all of his glory.
The Joke Man.
Purple suit, green hair, like just typical Joker look from
Rubber
the get-go.
neck. Because his head is turned
He has
really
it turned
weird
around.
around.
I will say, usually when we read older things about characters and stuff,
Yeah.
there's something we laugh about and like, I can't believe this. And we're going to get to that with Catwoman
Okay.
here real quick.
All right, cool.
I actually like the first appearance of the Joker a lot.
Yeah.
He's really good from the get-go, which is odd as for me, especially given that, it's the 1940s. I feel like a lot of times it's not as good as this was to begin with.
I like how these people are sitting here listening to the radio.
Well, that's the thing. So they're listening to the radio. We're introduced, and all of a sudden, the broadcast is interrupted of the music, and it's a guy basically saying that tonight at midnight, at precisely midnight, that I will kill Henry Claridge and steal the Claridge diamond. Do not try to stop me. The Joker has spoken.
Well, it does say suddenly the music is cut off. A toneless voice drones.
Yes. So I guess
Yeah.
tonight he sounds like
I
Ben
will
Stein,
steal the
probably.
diamond. Yeah.
I do love we're in 1941 and we are getting a reference to War of the Worlds already
Yeah. Oh,
because
really?
in the very next panel it's the elderly couple that's listening to the radio. One of them says, "Henry, did you hear Henry Claridge?" Because they couldn't think of another name besides the same name as the guy. Henry is hey Henry, did you hear Henry Claridge, the millionaire, to be killed and the famous diamond stolen? And her husband says, "That's just a gag, like that fellow who scared everybody with the story about Mars the last time."
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So we already have a War of the Worlds reference.
He
which I
not
thought was
only
kinda cool.
says that, he says haw.
He does say,
I've never understood
haw.
that. People, I don't understand that in comics when they go haw.
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 That's how I
H-A-W.
laugh.
Haw.
Haw.
Haw, Martha. That's a gag.
What happens is we're then taken to Henry Claridge's house where he's surrounded by cops and the clock strikes 12.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm still alive. I'm safe."
Thank
And
God.
then all of a sudden he collapses. And when he collapses, they're like, "He's dead." And as he's dead, his mouth starts to just that permagrin.
Boy.
It's, I believe, the inspiration is from, the man who, what is it? It's the 1927 silent film, The Man Who Laughs, The Man Who Smiles. I can't remember what it is. The character looks a lot very similar to the Joker does in this, but it's always that just ghastly, just like super wide, ear to ear grin is what this dead man now has. And they're like, "Oh, he has the Joker's, smile. Like, this is obviously the Joker's work."
Right.
we're then taken to, they go and they find the diamond. And they're like, oh, he didn't steal the diamond at least. And they open it up and they're like, no, he did. This is glass. Also, and there's a playing card with the Joker on it in there.
The Man Who Laughs, 1928.
28. I was off by a year.
Yeah.
So, look at me, though. Kind of.
That was good.
I was close.
Good job.
So, we're then taken to, it says not far away, a man with a changeless mask-like face, but for the eyes burning hate-filled. They always talk about him having hate-filled eyes.
Yeah.
And it's essentially the Joker sitting there already kind of bored.
Yeah, he's sitting in like an Elvis room.
Kind of,
like
he's just sitting there and he's like,
flesh on the floor.
He basically just tells us as the reader his plan. A solution injected into a sleeping Coleridge at 12 last night. He had 24 hours, so I knew he would die tonight. While he was asleep, I stole the diamond. Like, he's just telling us this. Like, he's just very bored.
Yeah.
Like, I did all this. I'm this, awesome person. But he's like, if the police expect to play against the Joker, I did love this line even from 1941. If the police expect to play against the Joker, they had best be prepared to be dealt from the bottom of the deck.
Oh, that is nice.
That's kind of a nice little, but what happens is then the next night, there's another radio broadcast, this time about another man and it's not a diamond this time, it's a ruby. Same thing happens when the time 9 is when he's going to die. When 9 hits, he dies. But what happens is that he's hit in the neck with a poison dart, and poisonous gas is released into the room by the Joker that paralyzes the police and kind of leaves them with that permagrin as well.
But you didn't mention that the Joker was in the room the whole time.
Oh, in a suit of armor.
Dressed in a suit of armor, yeah.
And so what he's done by paralyzing them is he takes all the evidence of like the dart that he used to kill him. Like, he's taking them all out, but taking away any evidence kind of they have to be able to pin him as well.
And he stole the Ronker's Ruby.
Ronker's Ruby.
But
it already shows, at least to me reading this, of other villains at the time, like this one's really well thought out compared to just throwaway guys. And so it's easy to see how this character would stay around for so long.
Yeah.
We're then taken though to like a mob hangout of some of the just bad guys there in the area who were kind of getting sick of the Joker in a way, just because like we had plans for that diamond. We had plans for that ruby. He's just stealing them all. Like, he's taking work from us.
Yeah.
And so one of them's like, you know what? Somebody tell the Joker that I think he's yellow.
He's yellow.
He's yellow. That's Yeller. Sorry, not yellow.
Yeller.
It goes, get the Joker. Tell that Brute Nelson's going to get the Joker, that he thinks the Joker's a yeller rat.
Yeller rat.
So,
oh, boy.
They're kind of putting out the word to try to get the Joker to come out from hiding, and they're going to, I guess, get rid of the Joker once and for all. Batman thinks that now's the time for them to respond to all this, too, so he's going to Brute Nelson's house as well. But what happens is the Joker breaks in and tells him, like, hey, I heard you were talking about me. And all of a sudden, people show up. Yeah. And there's great Joker lines in here because Brute tells him, that, you're surrounded basically. And Joker tells him, very neat. That ugly head of yours does actually have a brain. Yeah. Like, Joker is quick-witted already in his first appearance and just kind of an actual decent kind of villain. Yeah. So they hear noises, though. Batman's not his usual cat-like self. And they hear him upstairs, so a fight ensues, and while everything's going on, Joker basically shoots Brute Nelson to get rid of him.
Yeah, so the nice thing about the Joker here is he takes full advantage of Batman fighting all these criminals.
Yes.
Huh. And look at him go.
It's a smart villain from the get-go.
Yeah, he is.
So he shoots the guy Joker. That he was there to kill, and then tries to go leave in his car. Batman's chasing after him and hops on and grabs towards the end of the car. And we're introduced with one of the worst lines in this collection here. But it says, Batman says to the Joker, hasn't this boy heard it's leap year?
Well, because above that it says, even as the car starts, the Batman is upon it like the avenging black cloud.
I would also like to point out something, Mike. Here, I'll go
please.
back on mine because it's easier for me to do this.
Sure.
You brought up Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look very? I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Also, it's not just
absolutely.
with Burton, but also this is the same. We've talked about Alan Moore before and how I love Alan Moore. We haven't gotten to The Killing Joke, which is a great read too. But Alan Moore is very big on pulling from things that have happened in a character's past and like what is canon is canon. And his Joker looks a lot like this original Joker as well.
It's super noir, that 40s look.
But it's even
he's wearing the flat brim
the
hat.
flat brim purple hat, all of it. So I saw that and I was
really
like,
great.
I was like, that's really cool. That's something from the Burton Batman that you could say was pulled from the first appearance.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Mike, because I don't think that's the only thing pulled from this first appearance by Joker from another Batman director.
Okay.
So what happens then is Batman and Joker get into a tussle in the car. Joker tries to shoot Batman as they're ejected, kind of like they fall out of the car as the car drives off a bridge.
So he says, "I'm gonna kill you, Batman."
Yeah, he's all about just wanting to.
I mean, like super,
murdery. No, he's not pulling any punches. He's always down to get rid of Batman. But while they're
trying
fighting,
to kick him off a bridge.
that's what he does. So he punches him, and Batman kind of goes like the way I'm picturing this, because obviously you can't, but putting it together, Batman kind of just falls against his back up against this stone bridge, and he won't go over. So Joker straight up just Spartan kicks him in the face over the bridge, and he falls into it. Like Joker has bested Batman in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
It says, though, that the shock of cold water quickly revives the Dark Knight. He's already called the Dark Knight, by the way, 2 years in. So
Batman says, "Wow, my head feels as if it were going to burst any moment."
he's like,
he kicked Batman's ass.
He did. He goes, "It seems I've at last met a foe that can give me a good fight. However, I'm not licked yet. Not quite." So he goes back to talk to Robin, like he's trying to figure out.
Somebody say that one time, but it was in a very different circumstance.
Nice. There's another interruption.
Why do you say nice? It doesn't mean anything.
I don't know.
It means nothing.
I don't know. I just play along
All right,
sometimes.
I got you. Sure.
There's another radio interruption. This time it's going to be Judge Drake who dies at 8 o'clock, and Batman and Robin are waiting around trying to figure out what's going on. We got 2 hours to figure this out. Well, then we're taken to a scene that we're familiar through this whole time is the potential villain or the potential victims being watched by the cops.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing the judge is there with one of the chief of police, and they're playing cards. And so they're betting, and the
because he's sitting there with the judge who's supposed to be killed, and so they're just passing time.
Yeah, they're
by
passing
playing
time.
cards.
Like there's cops. They're outside his apartment is all cops all around, and it's just him and the chief of police here.
Right.
And so the chief of police tells him, "It's your bet, judge." And the judge says, "You win. I need the ace of spades to make the game." To which the chief of police responds, you can't win anyway. You see, I hold the winning card, and it's a Joker because it's the Joker disguised as the police chief." And Mike, where else have we seen the Joker disguised as a member of police except Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight? I'm not saying that it's there. I just found it very funny that I can
that they pull from these
make
things.
two.
That's
and
really
I don't
cool.
even know if he did, but it's cool to me at least that there's two pulls.
Yeah.
Because he has a very similar look in a way too about it.
And that is, honestly, when all kidding aside, I mean, it is cool that these guys went back and looked at the old comics whenever they were making these movies. They did the research.
Even in any way, even if it was just like, oh, that'd be cool, or and maybe it's just something that I just noticed and it has no connection, but still, I think it's cool in a way.
And I don't understand why they don't do that more often with these comic book movies. I mean, just pull it. It's all written.
Yeah.
It's all here.
You have good stuff. You don't have
Batman
to make
in the
everything.
face. Yeah.
Dude, I'd love to watch Batman get beaten up every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing is if you're going to give me heroes, I want heroes that feel that they can be.
I don't want Robin, but still.
Well,
Let's put some pants on him.
So, Funny enough, though, the judge does die because Joker's there. And then we find out that the Joker says that he's also a master of disguise as well.
That's true.
But with the judge dead, he walks outside and he goes, Judge Drake is dead. The Joker has won again. Watch the body. I have to go to headquarters.
Watch the body?
Well, that's what he tells the cops outside.
Where's the body going?
Well, he's just like,
oh,
I don't know how it happened. Joker won again.
I see. Okay.
He's trying to get out just to escape.
And I like how police chief is in quotes.
Yeah. So he leaves and Robin's outside and he's like, Batman told me if anybody left just to follow him. So I got to see where this guy's going. And he follows the Joker police chief to this abandoned house. And while he's there, he gets clubbed over the back of the head by the Joker, who is thought that he's been followed the whole time.
Calls him a snooper.
He does. Batman's looking for Robin. We do find out with Mike, we haven't had a stupid superhero invention yet, so let me give you one. We find out that both Batman and Robin's uniforms, the soles of their feet or their boots are both treated with a luminous chemical that glows only underneath the light of an infrared ray.
Yeah, he's got a red flashlight. He
has a red flashlight, and Batman is able to track Robin's footsteps this way.
Perfect.
And he tracks him back to where the Joker is. He and the Joker get into a fight. Fire.
He's got Robin all tied up on a chair.
He does. He's about to get rid of Robin.
Yeah.
Joker escapes. Batman's able to escape the fire with Robin, but they're not able to capture.
He crashed him into a chemical table.
Yeah, that's what starts the fire. Then, yeah,
a chemical table.
A chemical table. So we see that on the penthouse, the Joker prepares to enter. He's going to do his next job because he was bragging to Robin while Robin was there of like, I'm going to go steal this next, thinking he was about to kill him. So Batman and Robin go there to stop him.
Yeah.
It's another Joker's all about wanting to get rid of Batman.
Yeah.
In all of it though, while
his hat.
While through the fight, Batman gets a kickback and it sends the Joker flying off the scaffolding as the frantic man falls past the penthouse balustrade.
What? Where? Huh? What?
Balustrade.
Where do you see this?
Right here. Balustrade.
Oh, right. The penthouse balustrade. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
We are too stupid for that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
But he catches Joker before falling, pulls him up, gives him another 1-2 to knock him out, and they're able to capture the Joker after all and put him away in jail.
I am really caught up on this balustrade thing.
Yeah, you look that up while I then get into our last little story, and then Mike will play the game of can you guess what these tabs were?
Yeah.
Do you think you have an idea yet?
Sure.
Okay.
A railing supported by balusters. Balusters?
Banisters?
Balusters. Balusters. Especially an ornamental parapet on a balcony, bridge, or terrace.
Okay.
This is just a wormhole waiting to happen right here.
So this last story is super quick. Catwoman does appear also in the very first Batman issue.
Okay.
But I'm not going to cover that. Instead, I'm going to cover 49 issues later. I'm sorry, not 49. This is 62. So 61 issues later.
Okay.
In 1950, we get Batman number 62 that tells us it is exposing for the first time the secret life of Catwoman.
This is where Catwoman trains the tiny cats.
Tiny cats. I'm a small cat trainer.
Small.
I included this just for one. This will be a super quick one.
Yeah.
Just to add, it's a story of where Catwoman has been hired by this man to help him named Mr. X, help him with robberies.
By the way, can I mention real quick at the end of this last one?
Yeah.
Robin at some point calls himself the ace in the hole.
He does when they're fighting the Joker.
Really weird.
He calls himself the ace in the hole. He does.
Okay, so Catwoman, she trains cats.
She trains small cats. But so Catwoman's working for Mr. X to help him with these robberies.
Sure.
But while she's being thwarted by Batman, they run by a condemned building and it falls on her and she gets hit in the back of the head by a brick. And by doing so, she pushes Batman out of the way and saves his life.
Oh.
It says moments later, Robin says, I saw that, Batman. She risked her life to save you. I don't understand. Sometimes she acts like the exact opposite. They're confused by this. We come to find out, and I kid you not, that the knock on the back of her head, I'll just read it like this.
Did she go cross-eyed?
No, it's worse. So they take her back to their secret bat cave, and Batman tells Robin she's coming, she's coming too. And Robin goes, listen,
so they
she's
kidnapped this woman.
They have Catwoman because she's been hit in the back of the head with the brick.
Sure.
And Robin's like, listen, she's saying something. And Catwoman says, fasten your safety belts. If we remain calm, the pilot will get us down safely. Fasten your safety belts is what she's just repeating over and over again.
So she's a stewardess?
And then she kind of like wakes up. It says then, as her eyes snap open, wherever am I? Where are the passengers? Did we land safely? Who are you? And Batman goes, Catwoman, you know perfectly well that that we're Batman and Robin. And Catwoman runs over to the mirror and she looks at it. She goes, oh yes, I've read about you, but why'd you call me Catwoman? My name's Selena Kyle. I'm a stewardess with Speed Airlines. And
Airlines.
Why am I wearing this strange costume? And why is your calendar all wrong? It won't be 1950 for years. What happens then is she's like, I'm all mixed up. I'm sure this is all, she goes, I'm all mixed up. All I'm sure of is that I fell out the door just as the plane crashed. I hit my head against a branch and blacked out. And Batman says, if what you say is true, there can be only one explanation: amnesia.
Yep.
That blow from the branch must have caused it. And now this second blow to your head has restored your memory.
There you go. Well, I mean, if movies and comics and all that stuff have taught us anything.
But just to see, Batman feels the need in this to show her microfilms of
microfiche?
Yes, of the battles they have had in the past.
Oh, okay.
And he's asking her about it. But he has names for
Who's taking
these.
those pictures?
I don't know, but he's like, this is from the case called 9 Lives Has the Catwoman. Remember it? Who's naming these cases?
Remember that day? It was a Thursday, and it's called 9 Lives of the Catwoman.
And then Selena goes, no, but that girl, it's me. I don't understand. Then he shows her another one, and he goes, and as a picture history of Catwoman's crime is screened, the duped domestics, the claws of the Catwoman, the lady rogues. And she's like, no, I don't want to see it anymore. I
don't
can't.
know what you're talking about, doofus.
Essentially, you come to find out that, she just became a criminal thanks to amnesia.
Okay.
And then she pretends to still work for Mr. X to get him captured. But when we leave Catwoman here,
why didn't they
she's no longer evil.
Why didn't they just hit her in the back of the head again?
She's no longer
evil. Wouldn't that
evil.
fix her?
I guess.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. Like movies and comics have taught us, you get kicked in the head by a mule, your eyes go crossed.
But then you're fine.
You don't know who you are, so you got to get kicked in the head again.
To get uncrossed.
Get uncrossed.
But no, so there was a brief time where Catwoman, apparently, because of amnesia, was no longer... There you go.
Was she actually a stewardess?
And that time she was. They retconned it, obviously, but...
All right.
All right, Mike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tabs is what I have here. 11 yellow tabs. What are these tabs?
They are the 11 commandments.
Is that your guess?
I did 11 tabs. Batman Chronicles.
I will tell you again, this collects, it doesn't matter, but this collects his first 11 appearances or 12 appearances from Detective Comics 27 through 38 and the very first issue of Batman 1. So this is the very first thing. What is Batman known for a lot, Mike? I think one of the main things that Batman, at least people will talk about, that Batman has a code. There's something Batman doesn't do, Mike. And what does Batman not do?
He doesn't kill people.
He doesn't kill people.
This is 11 times.
There's 11 times in the first 12 appearances that he kills people.
That is great.
Let's go ahead of Batman the Murderer real quick to close this out.
Batman the Murderer.
Batman the Murderer to close out this episode of Bros Foes. Some of them we've covered already, but we'll just hit the highlights.
I'm your ace in the hole.
We covered the one where he threw the guy off the roof.
He did. That's one.
There's also then the guy who he punched into the vat of acid.
Sure.
So that's number 2. Number 3 then is from our second story, where he also threw another guy off the top of that building.
Sure.
So that's number 3.
Yee.
Then we get to, I'm having to figure out in order which ones these are. Then we have one. This one's kind of rough. In his fourth appearance, there's a guy, and I'll just read how it happens. Batman is swinging in that great Batman wrist rope, which you can get yours, today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he swings by at a bad guy who's leaning out of a window, and it says, but as Mikhail puts his head through the window, basically see where Batman is, there is a sickening snap as his neck breaks under the mighty pressure of Batman's foot. That's right. Batman swings through and just breaks the dude's neck with his foot.
Wow.
So that's number 4. That's number 4. Then we're met with, we have 2 in the same, or did I put 2 back to back? Oh, I put 2 back to back. There's a story with vampires.
Okay.
He melts down. I'm going to count this as killing. Granted, he's doing the right thing. But he melts down Silver and shoots 2 vampires. So I'm going to count that as 2.
That's
2 more deaths.
That's 2 deads.
Right. So that's 6 we're up to now.
I said that's 2 deads.
6. He's only had 5 appearances at this point. He's already killed 6 people.
He's already killed 6. Well, people is a little bit of a stretch.
4 people, 2 vampires.
Sure.
Then there's one where
he's killed 6 entities.
6 entities.
Right.
Our next issue, he throws a poisonous gas capsule at a bad guy flying a plane who crashes his plane into water, and they recover his body dead. I'll count that as a murder.
That's definitely a murder.
Then we have one here where this one was kind of tough, but he's fighting a guy who kind of looks like Frenchie Blake, but isn't Frenchie Blake.
Frenchie Blake.
And their fight in the back of the car causes the car to careen off of a bridge. Batman is able to jump out and grab his rope before the car plummets to certain death.
Yeah, that's
so
a murder.
I'm going to say that kind of works as murder too.
Murder by omission.
Yeah. We have one here where he's fighting a guy who is insensitively dressed that turns out to be a white guy. So cultural appropriation, first of all.
Like a typical Asian.
In comics, it was at the time.
Sure.
But Batman grabs like a ruby kind of idol in a way and just throws it and hits the dude in the face. And the dude falls out of the apartment and just falls to his death. There's blood coming out of his head there.
Yeah.
So that's number 9.
That's a murder.
I'm saving the best one for last, Mike. I say that in a way of how just heinous it is for Batman. We then have one where he gets into a fight with a guy and a sword is thrown at Batman, and Batman opens a door to like catch the sword and throws the sword back. And in a fight with that guy, punches him, and he pushes him towards the sword, sticking through the door.
Oh, wow.
And so it kills that guy with the sword.
Sure.
And then our last one, our Cape Crusader fighting for all good and justice. He fights these big monster men that Dr. Hugo Strange has. They're just bigger men. And
I like how you just say Dr. Hugo Strange like it's not a thing. Like it's just, Dr. Hugo Strange.
Dr. Hugo Strange. Him and Dr. Mehmet Oz. So,
that's good. I like that.
Thank you. So he's flying in his bat plane.
Mehmet.
And with his bat rope or whatever you want to do, he wraps one of the giants by the throat and flies him around, hanging him until he dies.
Wonderful.
And it says here, the rising bat plane jerks the monster from the ground. He goes, I've roped steers before, but you're much more deadly to the giant.
Wow.
Says the giant tries to break the ever tightening rope. And then it says a few moments later, and he's just dangling there dead. And Batman says, he's probably better off this way.
Oh my God.
So there you go.
Wow.
11 times.
Well,
Batman killed in his first 13 appearances.
Did he ever kill anybody in the Adam West days? You think there's anybody dead?
No, not in Adam West. I mean, maybe. I don't remember. I know that Michael Keaton, here, I will argue Michael Keaton killed that one dude.
Which
at the very first of the Batman one, where he's holding him off the edge.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's,
I'm Batman.
He kind of slips, but still.
I'm Batman.
But yeah, there you go. So that is the beginning, the origins of Batman there for you. As always, we appreciate you taking the time out to listen.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram, BroFoHero, or on Twitter, Bros, Foes, and Heroes. Email us anytime, brosfoesandheroes@gmail.com. Also, we are a part of the Rogue Media Network.
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Family of podcasts. So many great podcasts out there. Mike always likes it when I actually throw out the names of podcasts. And this kind of is cheating, I guess, in a way. but we have the Public Affairs Show with Andrew G, and then also Bloody Happy Hour. That are a part of the network as well. So boom, there you go.
Boom, there it is.
Lots of great shows for you to go over there and check out as well. But mostly, most importantly of all, we want to thank you as always for taking the time out to listen
Thanks
to
for
us.
listening. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
Yep.
And, you know, I have a request.
What's that?
I want us to talk about A Date with Judy.
I did see those, and I might try to find. There are comics in the 1950 called A Date with Judy. I don't know what's in there, but we're gonna see what A Date with Judy includes. Hopefully, not the clap. So
the clap,
perfect way to end it. We were in the 50s. That's why I went with that terminology.
That's good,
right?
Yeah, the post nasal drip.
Well, that was a weak one. There we go.
That's not the same thing at all.
Oh,
but
I thought that's what.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Like, hey, that was a great date.
Yeah. If you get the clap from your date, you got problems.
You know.
But hey, thanks again for listening. We appreciate it.
It's a weird way for us to go out. I set us up for that one. But yes,
disinfect
as always,
yourself.
yes. And don't worry about A Date with Judy. We'll get there eventually. The rest of the month, we will keep going through origins of people. I got to figure out what to do for February.
Love it.
But we'll just keep diving into some of the ridiculousness of these early guys.
Got to be romance month.
Do you want more romance comics?
Date with Judy.
Oh, we can do A Date with Judy.
Let's do A Date with Judy.
We'll do A Date with Judy in February.
That's great.
We'll do things like that. All right.
I love it.
As always, thank you for listening. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Golly con.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.